again, day 3. Wow. I don't think I've ever streamed 3 days in a row, even back in the day when I was really active. um, yeah, so what's up? Just getting my little pre-configuration stuff out of the way. It was kind of annoying. It would have been a really cool closer, but when I ended the stream yesterday, I like zoomed out on the main map and I was talking about how massive Second Life was, but all the Sims hadn't actually loaded yet. So like, just check this out. Um, I mean, like, look at how many Sims there are on this map. I mean, if these were pixels, that would probably be like like a 1024 by 768 image. But it's really cool to see the patterns too. Like, there are areas where there's like a concentration of Sims. Yeah, like for those of you who don't know, like these little boxes are not pixels. Those are actual Sims, and each one of those is huge. Many meters square. I'm actually forgetting how many meters square it is. That's why I didn't say. But I mean, just look at all these. These contiguous areas, these are the ones where the squares are right next to each other. They're the only places in the whole grid where it's just completely contiguous. But if you just look at the whole grid, aka world map of Second Life, there are a lot of Sims, like an insane number of Sims. And then you think about how like every one of these Sims experiences turnover. Like it can appear when someone orders it, and then it can disappear when they abandon it, or they can sell it and someone else can take over that sim and rename it and repopulate it or create an entirely new experience on that sim. So there's like the fourth dimensionality of this whole thing too. So like every one of these are just snapshots, like a moment in time of what these sims might look like over their entire lifespan, and the amount of transformation that could happen on any one of these little boxes is incalculable, you know? And this has been happening for decades. Well, a decade and some years, I think. 2003, I think, was when Second Life first started. Yeah. I feel like a little backstory is always nice for these videos. But, yeah, the world map, like, all the Sims don't immediately load, so you'll kind of notice some of them are just blinking in and out of existence. And then at different zoom levels, they can appear or disappear. It's kind of frustrating, but I don't know, a little mysterious too, which is kind of neat. Um, so yeah, just doing my usual thing, looking around for something that catches my eye. Specifically, I'm trying to find Sims that are very different. This one's curious. I don't know all this part. This is a very strange looking sim. Let's see if I can go here to Black Kite. Right. Pretty unassuming, actually. It just looks like a another beach paradise type thing, but I don't know. It's still loading. Oh, great. A Covenant. Ugh. Interesting. So I guess maybe it's some kind of crazy art sim. These look very like Dr. Seuss kind of trees. Okay, these are different. They look like mannequins, you know, that you would use for dressing up or like making clothes for dogs or something. Like you would use these to model the clothes. Yeah, this is one of those arty sims kind of. So yeah, a few thoughts. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna actually do this like every single day. It's probably impossible, even if I wanted to, because I have a pretty busy life with a lot of different things going on. Things that take up a lot of time. This is a really cool frame. IBI, so once broken and forgotten. Each one of these is like a little art diorama, I think. Let's see. I want to see who owns the land. The Black Cloud O. Cloudy. Placed with care. Blogger, photographer, explorer friendly. Well, that's good. They're explorer friendly since I'm exploring. Yeah, so I was just thinking, like, what if I do a Second Life video every single day? Like, try it for a month, maybe. Just see how practical it is. I just read an article the other day about that neo-Nazi asshole PewDiePie is finally quitting second or YouTube. Good riddance, am I right? Oh, this is a really cool telephone box. But I guess he was talking about how like it's just too stressful and being like this YouTube personality takes up so much time and energy and effort and stuff. Ooh, I like these ghost kind of plants in here. Some really beautiful props too. Look at that articulated screw on there. IBI. Same person making all these props. Look at that crushed can. That's beautiful. Wow, even the little logo on there. That must be the logo of this IBI person. Kind of reminds me of Valve's Steam logo. Like a piston or a cam or something. But yeah, anyway, PewDiePie, he was like, I just can't handle this anymore. I gotta quit so that I can, you know, he's already like a millionaire, so it's not like he needs the money or anything. But I was just thinking about like personally for myself, even I've experienced a little like pressure from doing YouTube stuff. Like it's kind of weird. I don't know how to describe it unless you've actually done it yourself. But like I don't know if it's the pressure of having an audience or just like the psychological pressure that you put on yourself. Like for me, making videos used to be really hard, like agonizing, like so horrible. I would just get so anxious. I couldn't like talk. I couldn't say anything that made any kind of sense. Wow, this is a beautiful, beautiful, incredibly detailed prop. I just love all these details, like every screw is articulated. The texture mapping kind of leaves a little something to be desired, but when you're this good at topology, which this is a really a fantastic piece of geometry here. When you're that good at geometry, you can sort of excuse the texture inadequacies a little, at least I can, being someone who's done 3D, a lot of 3D art. I wonder if you can buy all this stuff. I have to see what this is. Empty spaces. Oh, it's a collection bonus, so you can like buy the whole set. That's pretty cool. But yeah, so like having a YouTube channel in any sort of capacity like if you're actually posting videos on a regular basis, or you're doing something like I'm doing right now, which is sort of, I don't know, it's kind of a performance art, kind of a show, kind of me just having fun and entertaining myself, but also with an audience, with semi interactivity. Like if people are making comments, I'm reading them and responding, and it's live, so there's a dynamic to it that isn't there when you're just making random videos and posting them. And like that can produce stress or pressure, especially like all the encounters I've had so far with people who are either like in the Sims I visited, or Sim owners, or other people, like fans who've been like watching the show and then like join me on the Sim and are like, "Hey, what's up?" Like I enjoy that, but also it makes it much harder. Oh, this is a really cool chair. I love the fact that I stumbled upon this Sim that has all this original stuff. Like this is awesome. Like this is an original creation. Ooh, that looks like a tomatillo kind of. I don't know if you can hear it, but my absolutely batshit insane upstairs neighbors are having like a rager, a karaoke rager. They do this every freaking weekend. It drives me absolutely nuts. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like if you're living in an apartment complex, there's a certain level of expectation there, the things that you should not do, because it's a shared space. It's not like you're living in a house where you can like play electric guitar as loud as you want and not really disturb anyone, or like you can move furniture around all day all night and not necessarily be like waking up your neighbors. But if you live in an apartment complex, that's just not the case. Like the things you do have consequences. If you're like jumping up and down in your kitchen for half an hour, the people below you or to the sides might hear that and get really agitated and call the cops or complain to the landlord or whatever. So like you should be considerate, otherwise it could cause you problems. But like the neighbors upstairs, like they are just straight up assholes. Like I don't know like what they're thinking, but they're clearly not thinking about um coexistence at all. Like so Friday nights, not every week, but pretty frequently, they fire up their karaoke machine and they invite their like 500 friends over to like just sing horribly off key and get drunk out of their minds. And of course, this is the worst part, really. They bring their kids. Like I don't know how many families are up there right now, but like 3 or 4 families, and they bring all their kids, and their kids just play while they're like getting drunk and doing their karaoke thing, which to me is like really messed up. Like I don't know if they're. I mean, it's just not. It's not nice. So it's funny. I'm like literally in a karaoke box right now. How bizarrely meta is that? That's just bizarro synchronicity. Shipping container karaoke parlor. How trendy. But yeah, so I don't know. The thing is, like, I wouldn't say I'm anti law enforcement, but I have like a stance just because of the level of fatalities. Like, you're more likely to be killed by a police officer in the United States than you are to be killed by a a crazy person with a knife or a gun. Like, it's ridiculous how many people get killed because of law enforcement. But like I said, I'm not anti-law enforcement in any way. I just think that like the only time you ever want to really contact or involve law enforcement in civic domestic affairs is when like the the possibility of something horrible happening is higher than the possibility of just something bad happening because there's a cop with an itchy trigger finger or whatnot. So like I'm totally like anti-narc. Like the people upstairs, they literally have to be like uh I don't know. They'd have to be doing something pretty bad, like dealing meth out of the apartment or something for me to call the cops. Which we actually had a guy next door who was making and dealing meth out of his apartment. He got evicted, thank God. And like hopefully that kind of stuff won't happen too often. But like people just partying and doing karaoke and stuff, like I don't feel like I'm gonna call the cops on them because that would just be kind of fucked up. And then additionally, there's this other dimension that I don't know, like their status as citizens because they don't. There's a lot of Latinos and Latinx people in California, and some of them are documented, some of them are undocumented. Like I don't like the idea of like bringing the heat down on these guys. Like I know a couple of them pretty well. Like they're hard workers doing like one of the guys is like a lumberjack, and there's a CNA or something up there. So like they're working. They're not just like abusing the system or whatever. But regardless, I'm still not gonna be like I don't want to be that guy. Somebody else can pull that trigger if they think it's appropriate, but not me. So like yeah, I'm kind of just in this shitty situation where there's these. Oh, that's cool. Bunch of keys in a jar. That's more beautiful topology. Oops, I got lost control of the camera. I will even be able to find that again. There's so much to look at on this sim, it's really easy to get distracted. Yeah, anyway, I just think it's so uncool when people are like that in an apartment. It's just like totally inappropriate. Like you gotta be considerate about your neighbors. That's just the right way to live. Um, and if you're not, if you're doing like throwing big dance parties and karaoke and stuff in your apartment, that's like keeping like the curfew here is 11 o'clock. Sometimes they go past 11. They're like 1 or 2 in the morning, and they could get evicted by that if somebody narked on them. But like I said, I'm not. That's not gonna be me. But yeah, it's just why are people like that? It's insane. Like you trying to make people hate you? Like especially if you're in like a potentially precarious situation where I mean, I know there's definitely a lot of racist people in California who would be more than happy to call ICE on their neighbors if they thought they could get away with it. So, it's like you guys are playing with fire. Whatever. Anyway, the whole reason I mentioned that was you might actually be able to hear it through my microphone. Like they're being that loud. Like it literally sounds like there's a bunch of elephants upstairs. Like humping or something. It's really noisy. And of course the kids just run around back and forth for like a few hours. Pitter patter. All the tables and chairs being pulled out and stuff. Like endlessly. I don't know. Seriously, sometimes I just have to laugh because I'm so curious. Like, what is even going on up there? Like, what predicates needing to move your table and chairs around in your kitchen for 20 minutes straight? Like, are they playing like Twister on top of the table? Is it like musical chairs or something for adults? I don't know. I like this. Some Rusky. Yeah, but we've all got our trials and tribulations, no matter who you are, no matter where you live. There's always something, and it's like if you live in an apartment complex, it's a given that your neighbors are all gonna be crazy, obnoxious dicks who just love to do crazy stuff. Don't even get me started on the laundry room. Like, we have a shared laundry room, and oh my god. Ugh. Some people don't even know how to, like, change the lint filter on a machine to increase their own washing efficiency. Hey, this is like macrame. My mom used to do this in the 60s. This is a really gorgeous prop too. Damn, all the time they spend on these tassels and the leaves too. That, like, kind of want one of these. Noel bunny, dust bunny, hanging plants, cheese plant. All right, that's what that's called, cheese plant, right? And there's a lot to see on the sim. I really like all the aesthetics of all these, like, prop containers too. Ugh, I'm tempted to just fly around instead of follow the boardwalk. It's kind of hard to decide what I want to do. I feel like I already looked in here. Oh yeah, I did. Alright, I'm kind of just losing my focus a little. I got so excited talking about my neighbors. These bottles are cool. Ooh, beautiful. Beautiful texture work on these bottles. It's a store I'm definitely gonna look up after this. I wonder if these shipping containers are for sale. Oh, look at these, like, helicopter lights up here. These are pretty cool. Yeah, as usual. Oh, I like this bed frame. I love this aesthetic, like the industrial nylon strapping with galvanized like fence pipe. That blanket's pretty cool too. I thought there'd be something at the top. Oh, there is a few chairs. Oh, here we go, the proverbial black kite attached to an anchor. Go fly a kite. One of my favorite songs from Mary Poppins, for sure. Up to the highest height, up in the atmosphere, up where the air is clear. Let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. Oh, members only area, huh? Alright, let's see what's going on over here. I've been seeing a lot of these curved big screen TVs lately. They're pretty much always set on YouTube, always. Nothing really matters. There's actually a much better version of that. It's like this disgusting, dingy mattress, like on the side of the road, and someone's spray painted in black paint on it. Nothing really mattress. That's my kind of twist on that. Nothing really matters nihilism. But yeah, the struggle is real. The pressure is real when it comes to being a quote-unquote YouTuber, no matter what kind of YouTuber you are. These greyhounds. I think that's what these are. Kinda. Nah, they're more like lab greyhound. They have heads kind of like goats. Very interesting bird. I mean, dog. Bird dog? I don't know, what was I thinking? industrial fixtures. Oh, that's a cool texturing job on there. Oh, I saw these in that other sim too. Interesting. What the hell is this? Whatever it is, it's running low. Looks like a nitrogen tanks, maybe? Really cool artwork, no matter what it is. Good old turntable and condoms. It's like the recipe for a pleasant afternoon, I suppose. Little hot tub up here. Wow, that's really nice. I like the little drain, white tile. It's pretty cool. Funny thing about shipping containers, I remember reading recently that in terms of the ecological footprint, I mean, there's all this like greenwashing about shipping containers making great like houses, like what do they call them? Tiny homes. But the truth is, like, the amount of energy that is needed to create a shipping container, and often turning it into a house, involves a lot of conversion, like cutting and putting in windows and plumbing and electrifying and all that. Like, in the end, aside from it being a tiny, like a smaller footprint than a McMansion or a contemporary wooden house, the truth of the matter is the steel shipping containers actually have a larger carbon footprint than a lot of regular houses or a house made out of wood, which is kind of just intriguing. So in reality, shipping containers are more trendy than they are conscientious when it comes to being a habitat for humans. Wow, look at those details. Wow. The bulb and the broken headlight. It's pretty cool. You notice there's like a muddiness to the textures. Aside from that, it's like the topology is just gorgeous. If I know it's an insane amount of work to like break up your geometry in order to have a little bit more higher definition for the texture maps, but I feel like these models are so well done. In terms of optimization too, they look very well optimized. I don't feel like, well, that's kind of a lot more polys than you would actually need, but they're not bad. They're not like those beehives. It looks like a beehive truck. Let's see who owns this. They'll have a built-in shadow map too. I wonder if you can ride in here, kind of sit here. Oh, cool. It's like posed. Sit. Driver. There we go. It's pretty cool. I like all the honking geese. That's nice. Yeah, our world's full of illusions like that, though. I will tell you this, like 99% of the things in the world that are like popular today are exactly like those shipping containers. It's all about the image, it's all about the aesthetic. It's very little of it is about the substance or the responsibility factor, you know? Which, I don't know, is that sad? Is that, like, amazing? I don't know, who knows? Yeah, this bar is exactly like that other bar that I was looking at in the... Someone has a corner in the market when it comes to supplying bars in Second Life, clearly. These are nice. Nice quality. I feel like Civilization will probably finally be mature when aesthetics no longer dominate psychologically or economically, and people make choices based on data and rational decision making instead of just like, oh, this perceptually seems like a good idea, or like, oh, shipping containers, they're so ecologically friendly, they're tiny little houses. It's like, no, you gotta look at the data, you gotta look at the actual energy that is consumed in the production in a holistic sense. Like, that's the proper way to do analysis. And, like, virtually nobody gets that. Nobody. It's just insane. Like, to me, that's common sense, but I think that's just my autism, like, viewing the universe through an analytical sort of lens. These are cool. It's like data should rule. I mean, if data doesn't rule, people die, people get hurt. Because when you live in a world of illusion, it's like you're blind and you're walking through this treacherous landscape, you know, where there are dangers everywhere. And if you can't see those dangers, eventually, statistically, inevitably, you're going to fall down a manhole or, you know, lounge on a buzzsaw. Something bad's gonna happen. And the only way to, like, prevent that is to open your eyes. And that's what data does a lot of the times. Although, honestly, data can be a double-edged sword, right? Occasionally it blinds you because all you're seeing is the data. And you're not seeing, like, the human element. So it's really, I think, honestly, it's a lot more complicated and sophisticated than the average person is just able to handle, to grasp. So, like, it's an impossible challenge. Human psychology needs to evolve significantly before our species will become capable of seeing the world in a holistic way that allows us to safely navigate the complexity of our own sort of impact on this planet and psychologically on ourselves. I don't know, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. But yeah, just sort of in a closing, I guess, because I've seen everything on the sim. Great sim. No suitable surface. Let me see if I can land on this thing. I'm determined to sit on this windmill. Alright. There we go. I'm kind of just sitting in the air, but whatever. That's Second Life for you too. Yeah. So, like, just to wrap this up, let me copy this and paste it into the chat first in case anybody else wants to visit. Yeah, Black Kite, cool sim, cool props. Obviously, some of them for sale, so that's cool too. Like, if you like this stuff, you could theoretically buy it. Maybe I might even buy something. But yeah, like, doing a YouTube video every day would be pretty demanding, I think. Even if you're just doing something like this. I mean, to the people watching, to you guys, it probably just seems like I'm just doing my thing and having a lot of fun. But it's kind of work in a way. Like, it's not all fun and games. So I don't know if I'm going to end up uh, being able to do this like every day, but I'm going to try for a little while and just see what happens. Um, but my basic philosophy for doing these videos, this is a really cool plant, whatever it is to set the bar as low as possible for myself so I don't end up suffering the same fate as that degenerate human being, PewDiePie, and being like, feeling like I just can't handle this anymore. Because I do this for fun, at least that's what I keep telling myself, and I want it to be fun. I don't want it to be a job, because then it's not, I'm going to be failing, like what I'm doing here. This isn't about work, it's about exploration and consciousness expanding and fun and stuff. So that's my goal. That's my objective. And I'm going to try to stick to that. So I will only stop doing this if I feel like those values are compromised. Yeah. But thanks for watching. I'm having a blast. I hope you guys are too. Um, Happy Friday. Have a good weekend. NeoToy out.